So since last couple of weeks, we have been discussing on this Purushottam Yoga chapter 15. The chapter name itself is Purushottam Yoga, and this Purushottam month. So on occasion of this special month, we are discussing this chapter. And I thank all of you who are attending the session on Zoom, as well as those who are attending this session offline on YouTube and at your leisure. So we thank each and every one of you for participating in this event. So before I begin, I just wanted to confirm whether my voice is clear.
Little more if you increase, it's better.
Yes, Prabhuji, it is clear. It is clear, Prabhuji.
It's clear, no? Okay. Okay. Yeah, the volume is maximum here.
Prabhuji.
So, yeah. So I'll start the session.
Yeah, it's very clear, Prabhu.
Okay, thank you, Madhuri. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vanchakalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhyev cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karti Vacharam Tungam Langati Gramitruvatam Vande Shri Guru Dintaram Shri Chaitanya Vishwadam Hare Krishna. So this Purushottam Yoga, in the last session, the discussion has been taken till verse number 15. So I'll just have a quick revision of what has been discussed till now, so that we'll be in the same page, and so that we can, those who are joining in between can also get an overview of the entire chapter. So basically we began with the first shloka of this Purushottam Yoga chapter, Urdhamulam Matashakham Ashwatham Prahuravyam Chandamsi Yasya Paranani Yastam Vedasa Vedavid. So the discussion was on this topic, upside down tree. Basically the material world is the reflection of the spiritual world. Spiritual world is the original tree, and the reflection is the material world. And in this reflection, the material world, there are many planets. Some are higher planets and some are lower planets. There are higher species and lower species which are compared to different branches of the tree. And people are going up and coming down, but they are still bound in the tree. They're not able to go out, right? So suffering is the negative axis material world, and peace is neutral, and spiritual bliss is in the spiritual world, Vaikuntha, right? So this upside down tree is nourished by the three modes, and three modes are binding us in this material world. And the solution is we have to cut off this tree with the weapon of detachment. So that is spoken in 3rd and 4th verse of this chapter. So the weapon of detachment from this tree is the important one. So after developing detachment, once you develop attachment to Krishna also, that happens by performing bhakti, and especially developing certain qualities which are mentioned in verse number 5, like nirmana, nirmoha, becoming free from any prestige, illusion, dualities, sangadosha, becoming free from attachments, sangadosha, and developing spiritual knowledge, adhyatma nitya, giving up lust, vinivritta kama. And Dvandva Vimukta means becoming free from dualities, heat, cold, man, apman, all those things. And Sukha Dukkha Sangehi. In Sukha Dukkha, one should be equipoised. Such a person can go back home, back to Godhead. So this was the first 5 verses. In the next verse, Krishna described his spiritual world. There is no need of sun, nor moon, nor fire, nor electricity. Once you go there, you'll never come back to this material world. But unfortunately, the jiva, which is the part and parcel of God, he is suffering in this world. because of his independent desire to enjoy separately from Krishna. And he is suffering with his senses. Manashishthani indriyani prakritisthani karshati. So, those many examples are discussed. And when a person goes from this material world, from one body to another body, he goes along with his pranas and the senses and his mind and ahankar to the next body. So he carries all the senses with him. So that's why you will see, because people have done different types of karma, there are different kinds of bodies which people get. Some are white, some are black, some are rich, some are poor. So all these differences are there in this world. Somebody is beautiful, somebody is diseased, somebody is healthy. So, and in this story, our Sam Prakash Prat discussed about the carpenter. We are the builders of the home, but we are not the owners of the home. Carpenter builds and has to leave and go. Similarly, we have this body, so we build this body, and then once it's old, we leave and go. So, but how the soul is going from one body to another, we cannot understand. Only person with Jnana Chakshu can understand. A person who has heard from Guru can understand. So, and then we discussed that how everything is dependent on Krishna. Verse number 12 to 15 describes about how everything is dependent on Krishna. The sun and the moon, the splendor of the sun and the moon is dependent on Krishna. Even all the planets are sustaining themselves because of Krishna's strength. Gama Vishyaja Bhutani. Lord enters into each and every planet and makes them float. Otherwise, there is no chance that the planets will be floating or they'll fall like anything. And even he becomes the Vaishwanara in the stomach and he digests the food in the stomach. Not only that, he stays in the heart of every living entity and gives knowledge, forgetfulness, and remembrance. So these three things are ordered with the Lord. And how can we know the Lord? By reading the Vedas. Vedeshcha sarver ahameva vedyo vedanta krit veda videvachaham. Because Lord has written the Vedas. By understanding the Vedas, we can understand the Lord. So that's the path given by Krishna in the verse number 15. So after this verse number 15, there are three verses in which, in these three verses, Krishna gives the essence of the Upanishads. Okay, so it is very, very important for all of us to understand. The essence of the Upanishads is given in just a zip file, the three verses. Who am I? Who are all the living entities? And who is God? Who is Krishna? So these things are mentioned here, okay, in these three verses. So are you ready to understand these three verses? Shall we begin?
No.
Yes. So this is the 16th verse. If possible, you can recite behind me. Dvamimau purusho loke
द्वाविमौ पुरुषौ लोके
लोके
Kshara eva cha
क्षरश्चाक्षर एव च
Kshara sarvani bhutani
क्षरः सर्वाणि भूतानि
Kutastho uchyate.
कूटस्थोऽक्षर उच्यते.
Yeah. See, the first thing to understand is there are two kinds of jivas in this world. Dvamimo purusho loke. In this world, there are two kinds of purushas. One is kshara, another is akshara. Kshara means that which has a tendency to fall, and akshara means that which never falls. And the kshara living entities are staying in the material world. Kshara sarvani bhutani kutastha akshara uchyate. So in one sense, you can say liberated souls and bound souls. So I've seen given the photograph here. So there is one person who is free. He is raising his hands like this, spreading his hands, and it's free. That is a liberated soul. And there are other living entities who are bound, like they're put in the jail. So they are called as fallible living entities. So some living entities, like in this country also you can understand, in this country, there are like all of us citizens, we are all free. We can go outside our home, we can purchase some things, we can go for shopping, we can go for tours. We are all free. But there are some people who are staying in the jail, they're inside the jail, and they are bound up. Their freedom is only one room, and they have to eat whatever is given in the plate. But we can go eat in temples, we can eat prasadam, we can purchase many items, cook and eat, right, as devotees of the Lord. Or some people go to restaurants and eat. So we have freedom, but they don't have that freedom. So those souls who are free, they are called as akshara. And those who are bound, they are called as kshara. And where are those free souls? The free souls are there in the spiritual world. And where are the bound souls? They are there in the material world. So all of us, even though we think we are free, but we are not free. We are bound by the modes of material nature. So that's why I have put the photo of a person inside the jail. Right? Inside the jail, generally person is given hatkadi. They put on handcuffs and shackles on the feet. So that bondage means that restricts the freedom of a person. Similarly, we are also bound by Satuguna, Rajaguna, Tamaguna, and that keeps us strongly, tightly bound in this material world. We don't have freedom. Like for example, if I want to fly in the air, can I fly? Not possible. If I want to stay in the water for 1 year, is it possible? Not possible. Because I am bound. My body is made in such a way that I can stay only on earth. I cannot fly in the air. I have to again come down. I may take a flight after 12 hours of flight. Oh, I'll be so tired. I have to get down, isn't it? So, and even some people go in, Marines, they go in the ship for about months together, about 5 to 6 months. Sometimes they're on the ship. It's so terrible. They're looking for the date when they'll come back to earth, to the land, because they fall seasick. There's only water everywhere. No greenery. You cannot see any vegetation, no animals, no birds. It's like full ocean. Water, only fishes you get to see. So they get seasickness and they remember their family and parents and have to come back. So although we want to be free, but we are not free. And there are some people who think that they can eat whatever they want. But no, sir. If you eat whatever you want, you have to suffer. Isn't it? Like suppose once it so happened that one person in a petrol car, he put diesel. And the engine started making a lot of noise. He was wondering what happened. I put diesel, means I put diesel. It's also fuel. No, sir, it's a petrol car. You have to put petrol only, not diesel. Similarly, we are having certain kind of body. We cannot eat whatever we want. We will suffer. So this is the meaning of bondage. We are bound by certain kind of conditionings. So there are conditions, conditionings, and cutthroat competition. Conditions means like I am conditioned to stay in land only. Fish is conditioned to stay in water. Birds are in air. That condition. And there are some conditionings. So conditions are outside the environment. Conditionings are inside the heart. Like some people are angry by nature. They cannot control their anger. There are some people are short-tempered. Some people are lazy by nature. They always keep sleeping. Even if you tell them get up at 5 o'clock, they'll get up at 9 o'clock only. So that's conditioning. So there are conditionings in the heart, and different people have different conditionings. People have certain kind of habits, certain kind of eating habits or sleeping habits or working habits, which are difficult to change because they have acquired it from the previous habits. So they're called as conditionings. And apart from that, there is competition also in the world, cutthroat competition. Everybody wants to become the boss, but only one person can ultimately become the boss, and everybody else has to serve under him, isn't it? So these things are there in this material world because of which we are bound tightly. But there is another world, spiritual world, where there is no bondage. There is freedom. And they are free because they have chosen to serve Krishna, because of which they are free. So those souls are called as Akshara. Like Yashodamaya, Radharani, the Gopis of Vrindavan, the queens of Dwarka, they are all eternally liberated souls. They are completely blissful in enjoying serving Krishna. But we, because we wanted to enjoy separately from Krishna, we are bound up in this world and we are suffering. Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadi. So that's the meaning of Kshara and Akshara, which is mentioned in this shloka. So Kshara Sarvani Bhutani, all the jivas we see in this world, the trees, the plants, the aquatics and the humans, they're all Kshara. But there are some Kutastaha, means those who are staying in the spiritual world. They are called as Akshara, Uchchate. Okay. And sometimes these pure devotees from the spiritual world, they come to material world for the sake of preaching. They are called as the messengers of God, or they are called as perfected beings or Nitya Siddhas who come to this world for preaching. They are also called Acharyas. So we have to take shelter of such great souls, and then we can also become free. Just like if my hand is bound up with shackles, can I free myself? I cannot free. Somebody else has to come and remove the rope. Then I'll become free. So the bound living entities should take help from those who are unbound and become unbound. You have to become free. Okay, so that's the meaning of the verse number 16. So is that clear? So then we'll go to the next.
ತುಂಬಾ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಇತ್ತು. ಹರೇ ಕೃಷ್ಣ, ಹರೇ ಕೃಷ್ಣ.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. So apart from these two, Kshara and Akshara, there is another personality who is called as Uttama Purusha. Uttam, kindly repeat after me. Uttamah Purushastvanyah
Uttama Purushasthu Anyaha
Paramatme Tudahritah
परमात्मेति उदाहृतः
Yo Lokatrayam Avishya
यो लोकत्रयमाविश्य
Vibhartyavyaya Ishvaraha.
विवर्तव्यय ईश्वरः.
Yeah. So Uttama Purushastu Anyaha. So there is another Purusha apart from these two, Kshara and Akshara. There is another personality who is called as Uttama Purusha, whose name is Paramatma iti Udahritah. He is called as Paramatma. And where does he stay? Yo Lokatrayam Avishya. He is there in all the three worlds. He is pervading all the three worlds. Vibharti Avyaya Ishvaraha. And he is the supermost, the greatest. So besides these two, there is greatest living personality, the super soul, the imperishable Lord himself. Right? Avyaya means imperishable Lord, who has entered the three worlds and is maintaining them. See, Paramatma looks like this here. In the photograph you seeing here, he is standing on a lotus and he has a pitambar dhoti. He has 4 hands adorned with Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma. And he is having Kirita, Kundala, and his bodily complexion is like Megha Shyama, bluish complexion. So you will see that it's as if some electrons are going around him. It means what? He is there inside the atom also, and he is there between the atoms also, and he is there in everybody's heart also. So he is called as Paramatma. So the role of Paramatma is very important. It is described in the 13th chapter of Gita. Upadrashta Anumanta Bharta Bhokta Maheshwara Paramatmeti Chapyukto Dehesmin Purusha Paraha. So in the previous chapters also it was mentioned what are the duties of Paramatma. Paramatma is Upadrashta. He is observing everything. Who is doing what? Sometimes police also cannot see. Sometimes CCTV also cannot see what is happening. But Paramatma can see everything. So he is there all pervading. He is there everywhere. That is Paramatma. If I cannot see a black ant in a black stone, on a black stone in the Amavasya night, I cannot see it. Because there is no light, then my eyes cannot function. But Paramatma can know. He is there everywhere. So you might have heard the story of Kanakadas. So Kanakadas' guru was Vyasa Tirtha. So one day Vyasa Tirtha called all his disciples and said that I am going to give each one of you one banana. So he gave one banana to everybody and he said, You go and eat this banana in a place where nobody is seeing you. So everybody thought, oh, wonderful, we'll do it. So they went to different places. And then they came back after some time. So after a couple of hours, they came back. So, and Guru asked one person, so what did you do? He said, Gurudev, I went into the forest. In that forest, there was a lake. I went inside the lake and not even a fish was seeing. I ate it there. He said, oh, wonderful. And another person said, I went into the mountains. There is a cave. In that cave, not even one ray of light was coming. So I went inside. I secretly ate it. Nobody saw me. So then another person said, Gurudev, I went into the bushes of the forest. And the bushes, not even a bird or insect was there. I ate it there. Oh, wonderful. Then another person said, I went into the kitchen and I put a chadar on my head, covered my body, and secretly ate it. Nobody saw me. So then Guru said, wonderful. So then Kanakadas, what did you do? Kanakadas put his head down and took out his banana. And said, Gurudev, sorry, please forgive me. I could not eat the banana. So then all the other disciples are surprised, shocked. Hey, you are a Guru Drohi. You could not fulfill the instruction of Guru. Such a simple instruction to eat banana. You could not do that. So they are criticizing him. In fact, all of them are envious of Kanakadas because Guruji was paying some special attention to Kanakadas, because of which they felt some kind of partiality. They did not know the glory of Kanakadas. So Guruji wanted to show the glory of Kanakadas. Then Guruji asked Kanakadas, so why could not you eat? And Kanakadas said, I went into the deep jungles. I went into the mountains. I went into the waters also. I went into the kitchen also. I went everywhere. But wherever I went, I could see Paramatma, the Supreme Lord. Wherever I went, I was seeing him. So there is no place where Paramatma is not present. So please forgive me. I could not find a place where Lord was not watching me. So I could not fulfill your instructions. So then he submitted his request to Guruji and begged forgiveness. And Guruji said, see, this is Kanakadas. He is so exalted that everywhere he can see the Lord. So then all the disciples understood, oh, he is a very exalted personality. We were misunderstanding him, like that they thought. So in this way, Paramatma is all pervading. Everywhere he is there. So that's what we can understand from this story. So Paramatma iti udaharata. Yo lokatrayam avishya. Not only in our heart, but he is there in all the planets, everywhere in this world. So Vishnu means sarvatra vasati iti Vishnu. Everywhere he is pervading. That's called Vishnu. So that's the meaning of the verse number 17. Uttama purushastvanyah lok paramatmeti udaharataha yo lokatrayam avishya bhivartyavya ishvaraha. Okay, so that's Paramatma. So let's go to the next verse. Is this verse clear?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes.
I hope it's clear. We'll go to the next one. Yasmat ksharam. You can repeat after me. Yasmat ksharam atitoham.
Yashmasharam matitoham
Yasmaksharam atitoham
Aksharadapi chottamaha.
aksharaadapi chottamaha
Atosmi loke vede cha.
atosmi loke vede cha
Pratita purushottamaha.
purushottamaha.
Okay, thank you. Can somebody read this translation? Can unmute and read?
You can read, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Because I am transcendental, beyond both fallible and infallible, and because I am the greatest, I am celebrated both in the world and in the Vedas as Supreme Person.
Yeah. Ksharam atitoham aksharadapi cha uttamaha. So I am better than Kshara, I am superior to Kshara and Akshara living entities. And even those living entities who are in spiritual world, they cannot be equal to God. They are always servants of the Lord. Mame vamsho jiva loke. So everybody is an amsha of Krishna. And in Chaitanya Charitamrita it is written, everybody is Krishna Das. Jivera Swarupa hai, Krishnera Nitya Das. That is our identity. So we can never try to compete with the Supreme Lord. Lord is always Lord. Ishvaraha Paramaha Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. Right? So Parama Ishvara is Krishna. And we are all tiny Ishvaras. You can never imagine to compare ourselves with the Supreme Lord. You see here in this photograph. So previously I had put the photograph of Paramatma. But who is the source of Paramatma? It is this Vishnu called Mahavishnu. See, from Mahavishnu's body, millions of universes are coming out from the pores of his body. And in each universe, there is Garbhodaksha Vishnu, from whose navel Brahmaji is coming. And this Garbhodaksha Vishnu gives all the ingredients for the creation of the planets inside the material world. And Paramatma, Garbhodaksha Vishnu expands into Kshirodaksha Vishnu as Paramatma and enters into each and every atom within the universe. So Mahavishnu is the source of Paramatma. And Mahavishnu is an amsha of Krishna, as you see in this photograph. See, Krishna is above in the Goloka Vrindavan. And from him is expanding Mahavishnu. So, Yasyaika Nishvasita Kala Mathavalambya Jivanti Loma Vilaja Jagadandanatha Vishnur Mahan Saiha Yasya Kala Vishesho Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Brahma Samhita, it is told that Mahavishnu is just an Vishnur Mahan Saiha Yasya Kala Vishesham. He is a portion of the portion of Lord Krishna. Govindam Adi Purusham. And Govinda, Krishna is Adi Purusham. Tamaham Bhajami. So, that's the meaning of Purusha. So, how can we compare? See, when we sweat, we get some sweat, some perspiration. It will not even be a few milliliters from our body what we produce. But when Lord sweats, he produces Garbhodaka ocean or Karana ocean. And from his holes, all the universes are expanding. But from our body holes, only dirty things come, isn't it? So the Lord is supreme, is spiritual. That's what we can understand from this verse. But there are some foolish people who try to imitate Krishna. You see this person here. His name is Paundraka. He was thinking that he is Krishna. And he was holding a flute, wearing yellow dhoti, putting a kirit on his head, peacock feather. And it is said that he also put 2 extra hands and put Shankha and Chakra on those hands. And he tried to compete with Krishna. Right? So I was sharing this story with some people yesterday. So I was telling that this Paundraka, he once challenged Krishna, saying that, Krishna, you think that you are Vasudeva? Actually, you are not Vasudeva. I am Vasudeva. I am supreme. You are just a Yadava. You are a cowherd boy. You are a Gwala. And you are thinking you are Krishna. I am Supreme Lord. Like that he sent a message. And the messenger told Krishna in Dwarka, Bhagavan, he has taken avatar in the form of Paundraka. Surrender to Paundraka. Otherwise he will be vanquished. And Krishna gets a good laugh hearing this. Krishna and Balaram both laugh like anything. Hearing this news from this messenger. And then Krishna tells that messenger, go and tell Paundraka that don't try to imitate the Supreme Lord. If Supreme Lord comes to you, tell him that he will kill you and destroy you, cut off your head from your body, and your body will become the food for vultures and dogs and jackals. So like that Krishna sends a message. And the messenger goes back and tells to Paundraka the message what Krishna had given. Paundraka becomes angry. Krishna is such an impudence. He is telling me to surrender. So he was feeling angry. So by that time, Krishna brought his army and then attacked Paundraka. Because Krishna's duty was that only, right? Dharma samsthapanarthaya, paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam, to protect his devotees and destroy the miscreants. So here Paundraka was creating adharma, telling that he is God. So Krishna attacked. And Paundraka at that time was staying in Kashi, Varanasi. So when Paundraka heard that Krishna has come, he also came out with 2 Akshwani Sena. And Kashiraj, who was his friend, he also came out with 3 Akshwani Sena. So 5 Akshwani Sena, Kashiraj, Paundraka against Krishna. So when Krishna and Paundraka says, Krishna, surrender right now. And Krishna again laughs. And Krishna sees Paundraka ditto looking like himself. He is also wearing kundal and kirit and peacock feather and 4 hands and all these things. Krishna has a hearty laugh. And by the time Paundraka starts attacking, starts shooting arrows, and Krishna removes his Sudarshan, throws Sudarshan, and Sudarshan destroys all the weapons and goes and cuts off the head of Paundraka. And he goes and cuts off the head of Kashiraj also, and throws the head of Kashiraj into Kashi. And people in Kashi, they are wondering, whose is this head? Our king has gone to fight with Krishna. Maybe it's Krishna's head. So they are looking and trying to find out whose head was that. And then finally they understood it's our king, Kashiraj. So like this he defeated. Of course, later Kashiraj's son also becomes angry. He does tapasya, pleases Shiva and gets a vardhan. Creates a demon to kill Krishna, but he could not kill Krishna. Then demon came back and killed the son of Kashiraj. And then Sudarshan Chakra was sent and destroyed the entire Kashi. So in this way, the somebody who tries to compete with Krishna, he will be vanquished. So such people are called as mudas, or people with no intelligence. So even nowadays also you will see people, some so-called saintly people, they also claim that they are gods. I saw one photograph where there was one book of some organization. So in that book they had put one Baba's photo, and he was sleeping on a Anantashesh, and he was wearing yellow dhoti, and Anantashesh was guarding him as if he is Mahavishnu. I had a good laugh. How can this human being be God? How can he claim himself to be Vishnu? Right? So he cannot even control his urges, and how can he control the universes? So such people are foolish. So here Krishna is telling that I am superior to both of them. Ksharam atitoham aksharaadapi chottamah. So that's why I am called as Purushottama. Purushottama means what? Superior to everybody in this world. That's called Purushottama. And ultimate Purushottama is Krishna. See, Vishnu is called Purushottama, but Krishna is called Purna Purushottama, complete personality of Godhead. So that's why Krishna is called as the supreme personality of Godhead. The supreme means what? All avatars come from him. Etecham shakala pumsaha Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. All the avatars, like Lord Ramachandra, Narsimha, Vamana, Varaha, they all come from Krishna only. So that's why he is called as Purna Purushottama. And Vishnu is Purushottama. Ramchandra is Maryada Purushottama. Right? So that's the meaning of the 18th verse. So I'll go to the verse. So these 3 verses, 16, 17 and 18, they are called as the essence of the Upanishads. Because here Krishna is telling the reality. What is the reality? The soul is the reality, and Krishna is the reality, and the relationship between me and Krishna, that is the only reality. Everything else is temporary. The material world, our wealth, our possessions, even the relationships, material relationships, they are also temporary. It's just like a drama going on. In drama, somebody becomes a king, somebody becomes a queen, somebody becomes a servant, and after the drama is over, there are different roles to play. Similarly, in this world also, material world is also like a stage. Even William Shakespeare said that the world is like a stage, and we are the artists, and God is the director. So similarly, we are also playing some roles as per our different karmas. People taking different roles, but that's also temporary. Only eternal thing is my relationship with God is me, God, and the relationship between me and God. That is only eternal. So that's the essence of the Upanishads given in these 3 verses. Okay. So shall we go ahead to the next verse?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, this is verse number 19. I have kept it as 18. I must have a mistake. So, kindly repeat after me. I'm just sharing the screen. Yo mamevam asammudho
यो मामेवमसम्मूढो
janati purushottamam
जानाति पुरुषोत्तमम्
sarvavid bhajati mam
सर्वविद् भजति माम्
sarvabhavena bharata.
सर्वभावेन भारत.
So Krishna is telling here, Yaha, one who knows me as Supreme Personality Godhead. Can somebody read translation? Then I'll explain it. One of
Can
you
I
can
read,
that.
Prabhuji?
Yes, Navya Matari.
Whoever knows me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead without doubting is the knower of everything. He therefore engages himself in full devotional service to me, O son of Bharata.
Yeah. So, Mam Janati Purushottamam. One who knows that. See, Krishna is telling about himself only here. He's not telling about some other god. He's telling one who knows that I am that Purushottama without any doubt. He will worship me. Sarvavid Saha Sarvavid Bhajati Mam Sarva Bhavena, with great love. O Arjuna. So Arjuna's another name is Bharata. So, O sign of Bharata. So try to understand that I am that Purushottama. So I have given this photo here. This Krishna in Dwarka. So all the Dwarkavasis, they are accepting Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead and they are worshipping him as Purushottama. So one who knows with full conviction that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he can only worship him with full faith and devotion, as you see in this photograph. Asam Mudho. Mudho means like doubting. Asam Mudho means without any doubt. One who knows Krishna, he will only worship him. So we have to understand why we accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the question. Why should we call Krishna only a Supreme Personality of Godhead? Is it because I like Krishna? Is it because he is very beautiful? Or is it because my parents have told me he is Supreme? We should have very logical faith in Krishna, why he is Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we can understand his supremacy by his activities, right? Like how do you understand who is the Prime Minister? By his activities and by his power, we can understand he is supreme. So similarly here also, by understanding Krishna's supremacy properly, we have to get faith in that. So can any one of you tell me, why do you accept Krishna as the supreme? What makes you believe that Krishna is the supreme? What activities he has done which gives you faith that Krishna is supreme? Anybody wants to share?
Any demon, Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes,
See,
yes.
he has done so many leelas and he is the one who has killed demons without any weapon. Just by the thought or by hand or by his mind, in one or the other form, all the demons have been destroyed without the weapon. And nobody knows how he destroyed also. That is the beauty of it. And Govardhana Hill, when everyone was in trouble because they did not pray to Indra, then just with the help of tip of left little finger, he could protect the thing. So nobody else can do all these things. So even the Jadoo fellow, whatever he knows also, he can do so many other things, but nobody can do all these things.
Yeah, so we cannot even lift our hand like this for
Yeah.
our hands will pain. But Krishna
And
lifted finger for
of course,
7 nights.
yeah. More than everything, Prabhu, this was, we knew this from our childhood, but we never accepted Krishna as God. But when we came to the path of Krishna consciousness, especially through path of ISKCON, because I have gone through various paths, so I boldly tell that when I have come to the path of ISKCON, then Guru Mukhena, when I learned, it is unbelievable, and I feel I have wasted so many years in my life. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Thank you so much for sharing your wonderful experience. Right. So, as Mata is telling, Krishna lived at Govardhan Hill, he killed so many demons. So that gives her faith that Krishna is supreme. And even his activities, there's one shloka in 4th chapter. Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo vetti tatvatah tyaktva deham punarjanmaneti mameti sorjuna. By understanding that Krishna's janma and karma are divine. Janma karma cha me divyam. So how to understand that Krishna's activities and janma are divine? So let's see here. There's a video here. See, Krishna appeared in Mathura 5,000 years ago, and when he was born with 4 hands. Do we see any child being born with 4 hands? Generally, children are born without any 4 hands, with 2 hands, and they're too ugly looking. They have to be cleaned. But here Krishna, when he was born, he was so extremely beautiful. He was decorated with flower garlands. He had kundal. He has Kaustubha mani. He has jewels on his body. He's effulgent. Whole room is lit up. So that was Krishna. Adbhutam tam barakam adbhutam. It is said. It's such a wonderful. Drishtva adbhutam ambujam balakam ambujekshanam. There's a beautiful verse in Bhagavatam. Drishtva adbhutam balakam ambujekshanam, whose eyes were like lotus petals. Kiritanan kundalinam. She had beautiful kirita, kundal, everything. So that is Krishna. His birth was not ordinary. And after this, the activities are also not ordinary. Immediately he told Vasudev, carry me, take me to Gokul. From Mathura, take me to Gokul. And all the doors opened, the guards fell asleep, and then all the tigers also fell asleep, and there was rain, and then Anantashesh came and he protected, and easily, effortlessly, he could cross Yamuna. Although Yamuna was full and flooded, still Vasudev could travel and go to Gokul. These activities are divine. Can you see this? So what is that? Krishna is showing the entire universe in the mouth. At once Krishna ate matti. So after eating mitti, Krishna, there's a complaint taken to Yashoda. Balram said, Krishna ne mitti kha hai, and Yashoda became anxious. Hey, you will get sick. Nowadays, if children eat something outside, mothers will get sick. Hey, corona will come. So very extremely careful. They'll clean, sanitize, and then boil it and then give it. So but Krishna ate mitti from the bank of the river. So then she told, open your mouth. When Krishna opened, she could see entire universe inside the mouth. So Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita. So in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells about his greatness, and he tells about his opulences to prove his supremacy. So I'll show you a video at this point of time. A beautiful video telling about Krishna. Let me check if it is here. Yeah. When Krishna is coming, all the universes to Mahavishnu.
शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये शान्ताकारं भुजगशयनं पद्मनाभं सुरेशं विश्वाधारं गगनसदृशं मेघवर्णं शुभाङ्गं लक्ष्मीकान्तं कमलनयनं योगिभिर्ध्यानगम्यं वन्दे विष्णुं भवभयहरं सर्वलोकैकनाथं वन्दे विष्णुं भवभयहरं सर्वलोकैकनाथम्
Right. So there's a beautiful shloka which many of you may be knowing. He is the Supreme Personality called it. Shantakaram Bhujagashayanam Padmanabham Suresham Vishwadharam. He is the Adhara. He is the foundation for the entire universe. Gagana Sadrasham Meghavarnam Shubhangam. His body is extremely beautiful, the color of a rain cloud. Now it's very cloudy, you can see such thick clouds in the sky. So that's his color. Lakshmi Kantam Kamalanayanam Yogi Pirdhyana Kamyam Vande Vishnum Bhavavayaharam Sarva Lokaikanatham. Right? So he is a Lokaikanatham. Even Krishna is called Ananta Koti Brahmanda Nayaka. He is not just one planet Nayaka, no, Ananta Koti Brahmanda Nayaka. Right? In every country we have Nayakas, Netas, who are leading one state or one country, but Krishna is Ananta Koti Brahmanda Nayaka. So that is the introduction of Krishna. So in this you will see that how Krishna is supreme. Krishna's greatness you can see in that. Of course, if you read 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, you will find more details about how Krishna is supreme also. He tells about himself in the 10th chapter of Gita. About 80 things he tells about himself. And Krishna's opulences also prove his supremacy. Right? How is Krishna Purushottama? Because he has all these opulences in full. Wealth, beauty, strength, knowledge, fame, and renunciation. So these 6 things are full in him. Like in this world, somebody may be beautiful, like film actresses. Somebody is wealthy, like Bill Gates. Some people have knowledge, like Albert Einstein. Strength, fame, like Mahatma Gandhi, and then renunciation of great sannyasis. So people have this. Anybody who has these 6, or any one of these 6, he becomes popular, or we become attracted to him. Like people like to watch movies because some beautiful people are acting there. Some people have wealth, so people are attracted to them because they want some riches. So you don't find all the 6 in one person. Right? Somebody may be rich, but he may not be beautiful. Somebody may be beautiful, but he may not be famous. Somebody may be famous, but he may not be knowledgeable. So like these combinations you will find. But to find all 6 in full in one person is difficult. But only one person in this world can claim that he has everything in full. That is Bhagavan. Who is Bhagavan? Who is all beautiful. Krishna is so extremely beautiful. Right? He is called as Madana Mohana. One who even enchants Madana. He is called as Madana Mohana. Krishna is strong. Balam balavatam chaham kamaraga vivarjitam. Krishna says in 7th chapter. I am the strength of the strong. All the strength comes from me, right? And he's lifting Govardhan hill effortlessly. Fame. Krishna is famous. He has so many names. Makhancho, Ranchod, Gopal, Govinda, Mukunda, Murari, Padmanabha, Achyuta. Oh, so many names. Unlimited. Srinath Narayana Vasudeva, Sri Krishna Bhakta Priya Chakrapane, Sri Padmanabha Achyuta Kaitavare, Sri Rama Padmaksha Hare Murare, Ananta Vaikunta Mukunda Krishna, Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. So many names are there. And whatever pastime he does, he gets a name. He drives the chariot of Arjuna, he gets named Partha Sarathi. He takes care of cows, he gets named Gopal. So that's why he's called famous. Knowledge. Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita 5,000 years back. And even now we are hearing it. Right? But modern authors, they write so many books and they keep on editing and changing and revising it. But Krishna didn't have to revise it. Absolute truth. That is Bhagavad Gita. Wealth. Right? Somebody may claim to be Lakapati or Karodpati or Arabpati or Kharapati, but only Krishna is Lakshmipati. Right? And how many Lakshmis? Lakshmi Sahasra Shatasam Brahma Sevyamanam. Lakhs and lakhs of Lakshmis are serving Krishna in Vaikuntha. And renunciation. Although he is Supreme Lord, such a great personality, but he drives the chariot of Arjuna. Right? He does menial services for his devotees. That is Krishna's greatness. So this combination of all these six is full in Krishna. So that's why Krishna is called as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One who possesses six opulences in full. Right? Bhaga means opulence, Van means one who possesses. Bhagavan means possessor of opulences. So in Bhagavad Gita, this word Shri Bhagavana comes about 28 times. And it comes in Srimad Bhagavatam about 140 times. So that's called as, see, only Krishna is Lakapati, Lakshmipati.
Emanates all the three worlds, both spiritual and mundane. Everything rests in me, Arjun, just as you see pearls hang upon a thread.
So Krishna is telling here, everything, all the planets rests on me, just like the planet, all the planets are resting on me, just like the pearls are resting on a thread. So that is the power of Krishna. And with just one single fragment of his energy is pervading the entire universe. Ekam Shena Sthito Jagat. And all the avatars come from him. Right? And even not only, we are not accepting Krishna sentimentally as Purushottama. He is declared as Purushottama by even great saints like Narada, Asita, Devala, Vyasa. So many people have declared Krishna as Supreme. So with all these points, we accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is not sentimental. So that's how we are discussing the 19th verse of this one. So 19th verse meaning was that. So asammodo janati purushottamam. One who knows Krishna to be Purushottama, he can worship Krishna with full faith. So that is 19th verse. And 20th verse gives a Falashruti of hearing this chapter. What is that? Kindly repeat after me. Iti guhyatamam shastram.
Iti
guhyatamam shastram.
Idam uktam maya nagha.
Idam uktam maya nagha.
Etad buddha buddhiman syat.
Etad
Etad buddhva
buddhiman
buddhiman
Krita krityascha bharata.
Kritakrtyascha bharata.
Can somebody read this?
I'll write, Prabhu. This
Yes.
is the most confidential part of the Vedic scriptures, O sinless one, and it is disclosed now by me. Whoever understands this will become wise, and his endeavors will know perfection. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So this is the most confidential part of the scriptures. What is the confidential part? 16th verse to this one. The confidential part. So, iti guhyatama, guhya, guhyatara, guhyatamam. Guhya means confidential. Guhyatara means more confidential. Guhyatama is most confidential. Guhyatamam shastram, idam uktam. I have spoken to you. Maya uktam, I have spoken to you. Anagha, why I have spoken to you, Arjuna? Because you are anagha, you are sinless. तुमने कोई पाप नहीं किया है. Etad buddhva, one who knows this, buddhiman syat, he will become intelligent and kritakrityascha bharata. Okay, and his endeavors will attain perfection. What endeavors? Spiritual endeavors will attain perfection. So I given this photo here. There is a beautiful photo of Krishna embracing Gopakumara. So this boy, Gopakumara, he had come to this material world from spiritual world, and he was there on earth, but he was not happy. He wanted to find that satisfaction. So he goes on searching who is the greatest, who is the topmost, and then finally he goes to higher planets, heavenly planets, and Brahmajyotis and Vaikunta. But still he was not satisfied. He goes to Dwarka, still is not satisfied. Then he goes to Vrindavan. And when he enters Vrindavan, eager to meet Krishna, then Krishna sees him. Krishna was so eager to meet Gopakumar. Krishna comes running. Hey Gopakumar, you have come, you have come. And they embrace each other and fall unconscious. Krishna also falls unconscious, Gopakumar also falls unconscious. They both get up again. Again embrace, and again cry tears of love, and again fall unconscious. Such ecstasy they were in. So Gopakumar finally reaches Krishna, and Krishna is so eager and waiting for Gopakumar. Similarly, Krishna is waiting for each and every one of us to come back to him. And when we go there, when we desire to go there, it is said that if you take one step towards Krishna, Krishna takes 100 steps towards you. He is so eager. He is more eager to take us back to Godhead than we are eager to go there. And when you go there, you will receive the same embrace here. See? Krishna is in ecstasy, embracing Gopakumar. And when you go there, Krishna will also welcome you in the same manner. And you see all the Gopas, they are celebrating, hey, our friend has come back, our friend has come back. Similarly, our true friends, they are missing. We are thinking some friends in this material world, they are our real friends. No, there are real friends waiting there in the spiritual world. Of course, devotees are true friends here in the material world who are helping us to go to Krishna. So when you go there, you can meet your other eternal friends and be there and enjoy with them. So this is the meaning of this shloka. So thus ends the chapter Purushottama Yoga. So by reading this, reciting this, we will attain the grace of Purushottama, because Purushottama month is called the topmost month. As Krishna himself declared this month as Purushottama month because he gave his name to this month. So in that connection, we glorify Purushottama by reciting this chapter. So I thank each and every one of you. So those who are attending here on Zoom and those who are going to attend later by hearing the recording. Because it's a weekday, some of people are not able to come. But still, I thank everybody for participating in this discussion on Purushottama Yoga. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much to each and every one of you. I want Murli Murari to just speak some concluding words.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. What? It's really a wonderful session for all this. We will not miss it. What I tried to tell you, this will be continued as per our President Chaitanya Narahari Prabhu. He was mentioning that this to be weekly, but a proper day. What has happened now? We are in Wednesday. In between, so many other. On the other hand, there is one devotee caregiver meeting is going on now. So like that, so many people will not get an opportunity to attend so many meetings, and timing also very, very important. So in future, we plan for a proper day and proper timing for all these things so that a lot of people can participate. As in fact, in this group, there is more than around 280 people are there in this group. Those who are, I could say they are our donors as well as our life pattern members, all those people. Okay. So all these people, most of our devotees also there in the group, what we could see. And a lot of them say, they send me a message stating that thank you Prabhu, Bolke. They send me the message, more than 10-15 of them, but none of them joined now because they even though they want to do that, the timing is a little critical for them, it looks to me. So we will work out one more good topic for a long duration topic, for it should come for maybe 3-4 months, like that. We will do it once in a week, we can do that, or once in 15 days we can do that. We will work out and we will come back to all of you. Prabhuji's Swarna Gaura Hari Prabhu and Swayam Prakash Prabhu, both of them, they put their full heart in giving us the message in this wonderful month, Purushottam month, and I'm really very grateful to them. And they got so much of work. I'm seeing them each and every day, not even a minute. They got a free time. But in spite of all that, they are preparing so very nicely and coming to give us some. So it is, their intention is only to make us into wonderful Krishna conscious devotees. That's it. So the selfless attitude of Swarna Gauri Prabhu and Swayam Prakash Prabhu, I will have to appreciate in this instant. I just said one request only, I made it to him, because I am just now I am handling this department, donor care as well as the life pattern. So I thought of giving something to them. Prabhu, come forward. This we can do it, Bolge. All his ideas, his own this thing. Only my request only. I did nothing except my request. And all this is happening to all of us. And I am very, very happy. And giving, I can assure all of you, with my little knowledge, I will make both of them to help us in more and more ways in the future. And see that I don't feel like leaving this meeting. If I feel that no, we are going to end, means no. And all of you also, I can inform you, there is no end for all these things. And we will continue it in a weekly basis. But timing and other thing, to everybody's convenience, we will do it. There is a better way of thinking on that. With that, we all of us, we should appreciate both Swarna Gaura Hari Prabhu and Swayam Prakash Prabhu for their efforts and other thing. We should chant, all of you, unmute yourself and chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra once for their benefit. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. All glories to the devotees, all glories to Prabhuji.
All the participants and all the donors, because of their donations only, temple is able to do so many programs. And also
Mataji, you want to speak? Nadyanandini Mataji, you want to speak? Anita Mataji, you want to speak? You can speak. You got few minutes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes,
Dhanyavad
Hare
Pranam,
Krishna.
Prabhuji. So from the day 1, 4 sessions you took. Hare Krishna. 1 second.
Mataji, you show your group, Mataji. Who
Yeah,
are
Prabhuji.
so that they are,
Yeah.
you can introduce
Yeah,
them.
I will introduce them.
Yeah, please.
1 second. This one, no, internet is not that mobile. Anita Mataji, you speak. Hare Krishna. 1 second. Give me a minute.
Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna.
So we started with Prabhuji only, our journey to ISKCON lecture series through online Gita course. And we are blessed to be always getting his association in one or the other way and hearing from his. And now we are in Bhakti Viksha group of Nadyanandini Mataji.
Hare Hare.
Which is again via Prabhuji only we are introduced to them. So thank you so much, Prabhuji, not only for this class, but for everything you did and doing and will be doing for Krishna conscious movement.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I thank Suvarna Gaura Hari Prabhuji and Swayam Prakash Prabhuji and Murli Murari Prabhuji Thank you so much for availing this special opportunity during this auspicious month of Purushottama month. It's very rare to have this kind of association. We are all so fortunate to be with intimate association of you Prabhujis, because all the classes will be many people, but we are few, but we got full concentration to attend the class. That's what we think that Lord choose us to attend these classes.
Really.
So we think ourselves being very fortunate. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. And Suvarna Gaurari Prabhu introduced 4 enthusiastic Matajis, Anita Mataji, Subhashini Mataji, Vaishali Mataji from Pune, and other 2 Matajis, Anuradha and Manasa Mataji from Hyderabad. They are attending regularly Bhakti Ruksha classes. Along with them, what happened suddenly last month, Navya, she is just 22 years old girl. She is in this group now. She was checking to join ISKCON. So somehow, one of our God brother got the number. I got her link and I called her and she joined Bhakti Ruksha immediately. She is very sincere learner. She is attending that Bring Out the Best in You and Kannada Bhagavad Gita sessions also. Very enthusiastic. All these Matajis, they're immediately catching up whatever we are telling and whatever sadhana they are doing. And every day we are assembling 6 to 7 and we are chanting together.
Really.
4 to 8 rounds they chant every day.
So Nadia joined with Nandini.
Hare Krishna.
Plus
So
Rishi
Anita
Mataji.
Mataji, Vaishali Mataji, Subhashini, Rishi, not lost to speak, no. He is the 7th standard boy and he speaks Konagara Prabhu knows. He is coming
very
on
smart
video.
boy.
And he attends Sachitanya Prabhu's children class and our Little Gokaldam, our house children class also. Very
Acha.
bright and he has prepared for Hare Krishna Mahamantra chanting 108 times. One PowerPoint presentation with Krishna's beautiful picture and with beautiful animation Hare Krishna Mahamantra. You can see that and chant, you don't know how one round will go up. Like that. I will share in the group, Prabhuji. So devotees can
Please
avail
share.
that.
Yes,
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for giving wonderful devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
And one thing I wanted to tell Prabhuji, if something comes, Rishi immediately he will tell our Prabhuji, like that he will come and he will say. So that's he asked for.
Rishi.
Hare Krishna.
His name is Rishi.
Prabhuji, this Bhagavad Gita crash course, you do know, it is really helping a lot of people. Because most of them don't know that this kind of program is going on here. We had to advertise more and more and bring more people, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Chalo. I do on Sundays, Sunday programs, Sunday evenings.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thanks to everybody.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Prabhuji.
Hare
Dhanyavat
Krishna.
pranam.
Hare Krishna.